What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? How are you guys doing? In this video, we're gonna talk about the brand new, newly announced 2020 Wahoo Kickr. And we're gonna go over some of the basic information about this device, as well as 3 major changes that they've made to this 5th generation now of Wahoo's kind of flagship indoor smart trainer. Unfortunately, Wahoo did not send me one of these new Wahoo Kickrs. They are not sponsoring this video, and they don't get to see this video before you guys get to see it here on YouTube. And since this smart trainer was just released today, I don't actually have one on hand, but I will get one in a few more days, and I'll do one of those proper unboxing videos. Potentially go through the setup process and show you all of that. So keep an eye out for that video, just whenever I can get my grubby little hands on the actual device. But let's go ahead and talk about the Wahoo Kickr and then get into some of the new stuff that's specific to this 2020 edition of the device. So if you're not super familiar with the Wahoo Kickr, the Wahoo Kickr is an indoor direct drive smart trainer. And that just means that you can take the back wheel off of your bike, drop it on here, and do smart stuff like broadcast your power or your cadence over Bluetooth or ANT+ wireless connection protocols. And with that information, you can connect to apps like Zwift or Trainer Road or Sufferfest. And these apps are fun, and they just allow you to monitor stuff like your workout, but also play games in some cases, and specifically like Zwift, but there's also some new games on the market. And this 2020 Kickr still has the same 16-pound flywheel, which gives it kind of that road-like feel, and it still operates pretty quietly. And it still comes with a cassette included in the box, and it's still compatible with both through axle as well as your standard skewers. And the price hasn't changed on this device. It still cost $1,200, and they haven't changed anything like the maximum amount of power that you can output. It's still limited at 2,200 watts. Hey, Marsha, this is where I want you to drop in some of that footage of me putting out some big watts, something over 2,000 watts. We don't have any of that footage? 200 watts? Okay, well, round up, I think, we can make it work. But basically, the overall design hasn't changed all that much. So if you're familiar with the 2018 Kickr, it's kind of hard to notice the differences in this device. But there are some key differences. And one of the first things that you might spot is this new Axis action feet. These are just this little rubber feet items that kind of go on either side of your Kickr, and it allows for some side-to-side motion. And the marketing material of this new device just says that it gives you up to 5 degrees of movement. And the Kickr comes with 3 different sizes of these Axis feet, and they're designed to be switched out kind of based on your weight. You can go with a smaller set, if you want to get more movement. And yeah, Axis, they probably could have come up with a better naming convention for some of these things. And the good news is you can actually buy these little things for your existing Kickr and just slap them on there if you want to check out this slightly different rocking motion. But for me personally, I just don't think that I'll be able to feel any difference. My personal trainer is on a yoga mat that's on carpet, so I just don't think I'll be able to feel that difference. So also, if you do have like an eagle eye, you might actually notice that there's a new port on the back of this device, right where that power plug comes out. And oddly enough, it's not actually an Ethernet port, although it kind of looks like it. It's actually much more like a phone cord outlet. Definitely seems odd to me that they went that route. I'm sure there's some sort of backstory there. Maybe they're just feeling like nostalgic for the 90s. I'm not sure about that. But it will allow them to connect to peripheral devices, as well as potentially having a faster connection, and just allow people to have less problems with different types of interference that they might be having. And this new 2020 Wahoo Kickr has increased its power accuracy. Normally it was plus or minus 2%, and now they're actually claiming that it's plus or minus 1%. Again, this is not a huge issue for me personally, but I do think that a lot of these kind of upgrades are geared more towards athletes who are highly competitive on games like Zwift and places like that. But I'll go ahead and link to Ray, DC Raymaker's website, where he goes over kind of some more details about the power accuracy testing that he's been doing with this particular device. And the last difference that I wanted to mention about this device was the fact that it doesn't require calibration anymore. And so that's that spin down process if you're familiar with some of these smart trainers. But basically it just goes 1 to 2 minutes into your ride and it auto calibrates. And I have done a couple of group rides on Zwift where I'm always struggling to be on time. And so any improvements with that process where I can kind of just hop on and go is gonna be greatly appreciated. So ultimately, I can see why some people might be a little bit disappointed about this update, but for me personally, I'm actually okay with it. It shows me that the team at Wahoo is kind of continually iterating on these devices and just kind of continuing to improve the hardware, the software, and the quality assurance issues that they've had in the past. But what do you guys think? If you've already had the Kickr, is that something that you would upgrade? For me personally, I don't think I would. I might consider updating from the Wahoo Kickr that I have. I just feel like trainer rides are the most efficient use of my time, and winter's coming up right around the corner. So if you're into this sort of thing, and that would be swimming, biking, or running, definitely consider subscribing. I've got a lot of fun videos coming up on this channel, and the best way to find out about them is just to hit that little bell icon in the bottom corner there, and just select that you want all, just so you'll be notified of whenever I post new videos, which is typically about once per week. All right, guys, I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video, and we will see you guys on the next one.